A father's daughter is often a woman whose father lived in the shadow of his wife's dad. In other words, the daughter's mother was also a father's daughter, disillusioned by the man she married, bitter that he was not the shining light or the loving savior she once projected onto him. Stepping into that gap between fantasy and reality, the daughter may identify with the fantasy and try to be for her father what her mother failed to be. The configuration varies. The father may indeed be a beloved judge, respected doctor, or lawyer in his community. He may truly be a great man. Conversely, he may be absent through alcoholism, divorce, or death, in which case his young daughter may fantasize about how perfect life would be if only daddy would come home. As a grown woman, she looks for a daddy lover who will cherish and nurture her, a daddy to whom she can be everything because she is not in her body. She craves intellectual or spiritual light. What she often finds is a Luciferian light bringer, drunk on his vision or his whiskey or his drugs, a man who constellates in her the unconscious mother who may try to save him but would end up pandering to a narcissistic little boy. At an even deeper level, she may find that the man who magnetized her are not, in fact, like her father, but like the idealized masculine in her mother. Then she has to swallow a bitter truth. The unconscious image that snared her mother is the very image that is snaring her. Ironically, she is living out the unconscious of the very woman she has spent her life determined not to emulate. While all women are not father's daughters, we are all daughters of the patriarchy. And although we are becoming more aware of oppression, we need to open our eyes to see the projection of our intelligence, strength, and feelings onto men. We need also to take responsibility for our own unconscious collusion with tyranny. Fighting our liberation in the business world, in court, in university, and in politics is important. But public victories are merely band aids so long as the private world is in chains. The fact manifests in countless dreams of raped and murdered little girls because dreams are photographs of our reality taken from the perspective of the unconscious. We have to keep asking, what are we unconsciously doing to ourselves that our inner feminine is so often left starving and bleeding? And gentlemen, you sons of the patriarchy, is the feminine flourishing in your dreams? Men talk about feeling guilty when they realize what the patriarchy has done to women. They are the world to them until they realize the truth. They are the would be rescuers and the victim tyrant rescuer. That response is itself patriarchal. For the patriarchy can no longer be identified with men. Women can be equally patriarchal. Men have no monopoly on the power complex. I assure you, actual men are no worse than female figures in women's dreams, and no better. They too dream of their little daughter being unalive. That piece was written by Marion Woodman. The name of the piece, it is Father's Daughter. I was led to the piece because my heart had concern, grief, and a bit of mourning for women and men who didn't have a relationship with their fathers. A part of me just ached for them. And a lot of things I've thought about, just about the grand scheme of things, from childhood, infancy, all the way up to preteen, teen, young adult, middle age, senior, elderly. Just thinking about the whole life cycle and how the patriarchal system impact every station in our life in different ways. And a part of me needed to read that piece because a part of me in this time feel a bit resentful. A part of me feel a bit ashamed that I'm identifying a new type of pain, a new type of pressure that is associated with being a Black female in a Southern family. The crushing pressure and expectations are you can't begin to imagine. You can't, unless you're a Southern Black woman. I don't think, and I hate to say it, I take that back. Southern women all deal with this. We do. We're expected to be virginal, pristine. I mean, almost like the Virgin Mary in that status of perfection. And a lot of responsibility comes with that. And a lot of your freedom is stripped away from that, away from you as well, when you have to bear so much. And then you look at the patriarchal system and realize just how it has destroyed so many people. And I keep thinking about why, after some people die, I notice certain things happen in different trees of my family. Like, some people just didn't bounce back after the death. But I don't think it was just the death. I'm realizing now is the responsibilities and the demand that was there in the grieving process expected of them. And it's always the women. It's never the men. Never. And I found that peace. And it's true. I thought about all the women I know, all the girls I know. I thought about myself, and that piece resonates with me. And because of so many I know and because of myself. I feel guilty because I feel resentful. And I feel resentful because there's so much demand on me that it's it's becoming too much. And I don't like the band-aids, of be strong, hang in there. I'm at that, I mean, I'm in that headspace right now. And I feel like I'm at a crossroads, to be honest with you, because I'm weighing and measuring this before I make this decision I'm thinking about making. Part of me is thinking that if you do not do something, this will continue and it will land at the feet of Levy. Do you want this for Levy? Do you want this for your granddaughters? No, I do not. So a part of me feel like you got to do something different than what they keep telling you to do. And you can't feel bad about it because it is necessary for your daughter and your granddaughters. And then another part of me is like, you can't do that because then you're being selfish. Then you're being, rude. Then you know, you're being selfish. And I'm not being selfish because I can own that. I don't like the way this is going. I don't like the amount of 99.99 responsibility of everything has been placed on me. Um, and I also don't like the deciding factor was just it's based on gender alone. It's literally based on gender alone and nothing else. So because of that, I don't want that decision to be what ends up unaliving a part of my life, my legacy, my purpose, my destiny, trying to stick to these rigid confines of the patriarchy. And that's all I'm around. I'm around a bunch of men. But another part of it is the diseased portion of the patriarchy does need to be addressed because it's harming the women in our family. It has harmed the women in our family in different ways. And that peace came to me this morning. And it's beautiful and it's sad. But I'm going to read this piece to you because this portion, this excerpt, because I think a lot of women can relate. It says, as a grown woman, she looks for a daddy lover who will cherish and nurture her, a daddy to whom she can be everything because she is not in her body. She craves intellectual or spiritual light. What she often finds is a Luciferian light bringer, drunk on his vision or his whiskey or his drugs, a man who constellates in her the unconscious mother who may try to save him but would end up pandering to a narcissistic little boy. Then she has to swallow a bitter truth. The unconscious image that snared her mother is the very image that is snaring her. Ironically, she is living out the unconscious of the very woman she has spent her life determined not to emulate. I know so many women that it fit, it fit, it fit. And my prayer for so many women is that they don't become what pain created, but instead become what healing revealed. That's my prayer. It's also my prayer that I wake up tomorrow and patriarchy no longer exists because it's harmful. And those who benefit from it don't want to get rid of it because they benefit. And all these years as outspoken, ambitious, driven, I had no idea how much of everything I do has been wrapped up in controlled, dominated, prevalent patriarchy more than anything. And I didn't realize it until this situation. And I just have to get out of the way and I'm gonna have to make a decision because I don't want my daughter to have to deal with this. I don't want Eris to deal with this and be treated this way and everything dumped on them because you're the woman, you're supposed to clean it up. Messes come, problems come. You clean it up, you fix it. That goes back to that narcissistic little boy is in all of them. It is. That's how I feel about it right now. Why deal with anything hard? You got women. You have the women. That's why they perfect, so they can deal with everything. They need to find Jesus. They need to let go of the patriarch and please find Jesus. Stick to that culture. Find Jesus. Yes, find Jesus. Please find Jesus.